Friends, if you want to watch super hit movie Rambo Last Blood in English, then you must like this video. If you are visiting our channel for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Friends, in today's video, the movie we are going to talk about is called Rambo. Last Blood, we will talk about what this movie is and where you can watch it, all the interesting facts about this movie in today's video. I'm going to tell you. I'm also going to give you all the information on which OT platform or on which satellite channel you will get to watch this movie. Also, we will talk in detail about the technical department, music department, pre-production filming, post-production budget, box office collection of this film. We will also talk about the story of this film, and I will also give you a small review of the story of this film, apart from this We'll discuss about the facts of this film's storyline, star cast actors' performance in the film, and which character has played which role. That's why I request you, friends, to watch this video till the end, so let's start the video. Rambo Last Blood is a 2019 American vigilante action film starring Sylvester Stallone as Vietnam War veteran John Rambo. Directed by Adrian Grünberg, the film serves as a sequel to Rambo 2008 and the fifth installment in the Rambo film series. The story sees Rambo traveling to Mexico to save his adopted niece, who has been kidnapped by a Mexican cartel and forced into prostitution. Paz Vega, Sergio Paris Mencheta, Adriana Barraza, Yvette Monreal, Jeannie Kim aka Yenahan, Joaquin Cosio, and Oscar Hayanada star in supporting roles. Plans for a fifth film were announced on and off again since 2008, with different iterations developed and cancelled. The film was finally announced in May 2018, with Grünberg attached to direct. Principal photography began in October 2018 in Bulgaria and Spain and ended in December 2018, with additional photography in May 2019. Brian Tyler returned to score the film. Rambo Last Blood was theatrically released on September 20th, 2019, to negative reviews from critics with praise for action sequences and Stallone's performance, but criticized its script, graphic violence, and accusations of racist and xenophobic attitudes towards Mexico. The film grossed $91.5 million worldwide against a production budget of $50 million and print and advertisement costs of $30 million. But 11 years after the events in Burma, John Rambo lives in Bowie, Arizona, at his deceased father's horse ranch, which he manages with his old friend Maria Beltran and her granddaughter Gabriela. Maria informs them that her friend Gazelle has found Gabriela's deadbeat father Manuel in Mexico. Despite their protests, Gabriela secretly travels to Mexico, where Gazelle leads her to Manuel's apartment. When Gabriela asks him why he abandoned her mother, he cruelly reveals that he never loved her and never wanted a child, breaking Gabriela's heart. Gazelle takes Gabriela to a nearby club where she is drugged and kidnapped by the enforcers of a Mexican cartel. After learning of Gabriela's disappearance, Rambo rushes to Mexico and interrogates Manuel and Gazelle about Gabriela's whereabouts. Gazelle reluctantly leads Rambo to the club where Gabriela was last seen, and Rambo confronts El Flaco, the man who last spoke with Gabriela. A mysterious woman named Carmen Delgado follows Rambo as El Flaco leads him to Gabriela's supposed location. Rambo is confronted, beaten, and marked by the cartel, led by brothers Hugo and Victor Martinez. They take his driver's license, revealing the location of the ranch and a photo of Gabriela, whom Victor recognizes. The cartel vows to mistreat Gabriela further due to Rambo's actions. Carmen takes Rambo back to her home, where she cares for him until he fully recovers. Meanwhile, Gabriela is repeatedly dosed with heroin and sold into sexual slavery. Carmen says she is an independent journalist investigating the Martinez brothers, who were responsible for the death of Carmen's sister. Rambo later raids one of the brothels, killing several men until he finds a drugged Gabriela. While driving home, Rambo thanks Gabriela for giving him hope and meaning for the last 10 years, but she dies from an overdose. An enraged Rambo sends Maria away, rigs the ranch with booby traps for a confrontation, and later returns to Mexico to ask for Carmen's help in finding Victor. Carmen initially refuses, telling Rambo it will solve nothing, but is convinced after he appeals to her grief and frustrations. Rambo raids Victor's home, kills the guards, and decapitates Victor. Hugo leads a group of hitmen to Rambo's ranch, where the hitmen are killed through booby traps. Saving Hugo for last, Rambo uses his Bowie knife, cuts his chest open, and rips out his heart. In the aftermath, a weakened Rambo sits on the porch of his father's house, vowing to continue fighting and keep the memories of his loved ones alive. During the end credits, the flashbacks of Rambo's battles are shown, with Rambo saddling up his horse and riding off into the sunset. Cast, main article, list of Rambo characters. Sylvester Stallone as John J. Rambo.
Paz Vega as Carmen Delgado. Sergio Pérez Mancheta as Hugo Martinez.
Adriana Barraza as Maria Beltran. Yvette Monreal as Gabriela Beltran. Jeannie Kim aka Yenahan as bar patron.
Joaquín Cosillo as Don Manuel. Pascasio López as El Flaco. Morajainad as Victor Martinez.
Vanessa Pineda as Giselle.
Marco de la O as Manuel.
Rick Zingal as Don Miguel.
Manuel Uriza as Dr. Sergio. Mirka Prieto as Lola Laura.
Sheila Shah as Alejandra. Jessica Madsen as Becky. Louis Mandalore and Aaron Cohen portrayed the sheriff and state police captain in the opening scene of the extended cut, respectively. Music. Main article, Rambo Last Blood soundtrack. Brian Tyler, who composed for Stallone on Rambo and the Expendables trilogy, returned to score Rambo Last Blood. Tyler shared his scoring process with Dread Central. Rambo Last Blood is a very emotional story, and the music needed to reflect the tone that the director, Adrian Grünberg, set so beautifully. I wrote a series of heartfelt and passionate themes that echo Rambo's yearning for family, justice, requital, and compassion. These ideas created a tonal tension that was both challenging and rewarding as a composer. Lush strings, massive brass, thunderous percussion, delicate piano, and harrowing trumpet duets echoed the themes of loss, regret, hope, and vengeance. It has been an incredible ride composing for this timeless character. Reception. Box office. Rambo Last Blood grossed $44.8 million in the United States and Canada and $46.7 million other territories for a worldwide total of $91.5 million against a production budget of $50 million. In the United States and Canada, the film was released alongside Ad Astra and Downton Abbey and was projected to gross $23 to $25 million from 3,618 theaters in its opening weekend. The film made $7.17 million on Friday, which included $1.3 million from Thursday night previews. It went on to debut to $19 million, finishing third and marking the second best opening of the series. The film made $8.6 million in its second weekend and $3.6 million in its third, finishing sixth and eighth, respectively. In a desperate attempt to jog my memory about anything regarding Rambo, the 2008 attempt to revive Sylvester Stallone's other notable film franchise, I went back to the review I wrote when it came out. In the final paragraph, I wrote, "Maybe if it does well at the box office, it will inspire Stallone to write and direct a proper wrap-up for a character that has served him long and well, one that will allow him to confront the real world instead of the sub-comic book surroundings of this disappointing effort." Well, 11 years have passed, and Stallone has given John Rambo one more go-around with Rambo Last Blood. The title is perhaps the cleverest thing about it. As the film opens, Rambo is living a tranquil life on his ranch in Arizona, where he now spends his time training horses, doting upon his adopted family, Maria, Adriana Barraza, and her college-age granddaughter Gabrielle, Yvette Monreal, sitting on the porch in his rocking chair, perhaps contemplating how his actions in Rambo 3 might have helped lead to the formation of the Taliban. Okay, maybe it isn't entirely tranquil. He is taking tons of pills to combat PTSD. He has an elaborate underground tunnel system that he has dug out beneath his house, the perfect location for the occasional Nam flashback. And he confesses to Gabrielle at one point that, in regards to his inner rage, "I'm just trying to keep a lid on it." Having tracked down her long-lost father to Mexico, Gabrielle wants to go down to see him and understand why he left years earlier. Rambo tries to warn her that it is pretty much the most horrible cesspool on Earth. But you know these spunky college-bound girls with bright futures seemingly ahead of them. Approximately 9 minutes after crossing the border, she is kidnapped and drugged by a sex trafficking ring headed by the fearsome Martinez brothers, Victor, Oscar Janada, and Hugo, Sergio Pérez Mancheta. When Rambo gets the news that Gabriel has gone off to Mexico, he goes off in pursuit, but his first encounter with the Martinez gang ends with him brutally beaten and left for dead in an alley with a brand new scar carved into his face. He is rescued by Carmen, Paz Vega, an independent journalist who is there to tend to his wounds and offer necessary exposition. Upon healing, Rambo returns to the Martinez joint to rescue Gabrielle in what feels like an even more violent homage to the already grisly climax of the slightly better Taxi Driver. This, as it turns out, is all prelude to the film's climax, where hordes of Mexican killers turn up at Rambo's ranch armed to the teeth and out for blood, only to discover that he has given his tunnels a Home Alone-style makeover by rigging it with booby traps. All so that he can go after them with arrows, knives, sawed-off shotguns, spikes, mines, and perhaps most cruel of them all, the sound of the doors doing 5 to 1 over a loudspeaker in clear violation of the Geneva Conventions. Taken simply on its own merits, Rambo Last Blood is an undeniably awful movie. While the previous installment may have brought to mind many of the cheapo Rambo knockoffs produced in the 80s by Cannon Films and featuring the likes of Chuck Norris or Michael Dudikoff, this one feels more like a direct-to-video item that inexplicably made it to multiplexes. The screenplay by Stallone and Matthew Cerulnik is an unforgivably clunky work in which even the most rudimentary of plot points have been cast aside. The dialogue is embarrassingly heavy-handed. I want them to know that death is coming, and the kinetic thrills that made Rambo First Blood Part 2 watchable have been replaced by over-the-top carnage, made even less effective by the over-reliance on CGI gore. Behind the camera, Adrian Grünberg, who previously did Get the Gringo, a south-of-the-border sleaze fest that was made with a certain style and wit, is clearly directing this by the numbers, but based on the overly dark visual style and clumsy staging, he never gets out of the single digits. Yes, some of the insanely gory bits during the final stretch are amusing in a sick way, but even those moments are too little and way too late to help matters much. Here is what I cannot figure out about Rambo Last Blood. Stallone is a smart man, a singular screen presence, and has shown strong acting chops when given material that allows him to take full advantage of his talents. Perhaps he doesn't feel quite as close to the character of Rambo as he does Rocky Balboa because Rambo was not a creation of his. Nevertheless, the original First Blood, 1982, remains an uncommonly strong, smart, and thoughtful film, and his performance there is still one of his best. The follow-ups may not have come close in quality, but they were successful enough to make one think that if this film is truly the final film appearance of John Rambo, Stallone might want to put some effort into sending the character off with some degree of respect, as he did with his greatest creation in Rocky Balboa and the Creed films. Does he honestly think this is a fitting conclusion to a role that helped make him one of Hollywood's biggest stars? For his sake, let us hope not. Pretty much a rip-off through and through. It clocks in at just under 90 minutes, at least 10 of those dedicated to an end credits sequence featuring highlights from all the previous films, including the one that just concluded. Rambo Last Blood is junk from start to finish. Without giving anything away, it should be noted that the ending does not in any way prevent the possibility of another film. Rambo Last Blood Part 2, perhaps? If this one makes a killing at the box office. Well, if that does happen, maybe Stallone will take my advice and give the character a worthy send-off at last. Barring that, maybe he can just scrap the idea and do Rhinestone 2 instead, a notion that strikes me as being far more appealing at this point. Review: Rambo Last Blood. This massively enlarged prostate of a film can only make you wince with its badly acted Geronto ultraviolence, its Trumpian fantasies of Mexican rapists and hilariously insecure U.S. border, and its crass enthusiasm for rape revenge attacks undertaken by a still-got-it senior dude, 73 years young, on behalf of a sweet teenager. The film, co-written by Sylvester Stallone, imagines this demure young woman having her face slashed by an assailant, but the field is left clear for a stag payback showdown. There is no question of her taking her own retributive action. Stallone's own impassive face, now like a sculpture created by Picasso out of a Firestone tire, presides enigmatically over the proceedings, and his indistinct line readings would not get him very far in rep. His announcement of, "I want you to feel my rage and my hate, I want to rip out your heart," comes out more like, "Ug wuff, ya tafar meranjan miyait, ug wuff trip urcha her." In the likable Creed movies, Stallone had found a way for his legendary boxing champ Rocky Balboa to bow out with humor and humility, as a trainer. But there is no such style in this new Rambo film, the fifth in the franchise, which, despite its name, may not be the last. Over the final credits, there is a sentimental greatest hits montage of Rambo moments over the years, ending with an unexpected present-day shot of John Rambo riding off into the sunset on his horse. Are there more battles still to be won for this great warrior? Nowadays, Rambo is living on an Arizona farmstead in retirement, breeding horses. There is some show-offy but undeniably impressive horsemanship from Stallone here. He also weirdly maintains an underground network of survivalist tunnels in which he broods over his collection of weapons. Not surprisingly, these occasionally cause the old boy anxious flashbacks, resembling as they do the tunnels created by the Viet Cong, whom he fought in Vietnam. He is close to his Mexican housekeeper Maria Adriana Barraza and to her orphan niece Gabrielle, Yvette Monreal, whom soft-hearted Rambo thinks of as his own kin. But when Gabrielle gets word that her no-account dad, who abandoned the family, is still alive and living in Mexico, she impulsively heads south of the border to find him and winds up being kidnapped as a sex slave by a Mexican cartel. Rambo tools up and saddles up to get her back. The result is cringe-makingly written and clunkily directed, and even the final action sequence runs out of steam after a minute or so. Of course, other dramas are arguably vulnerable to the charge of demonizing Mexico, such as the Sicario movies and Nicholas Winding Refn's TV series Too Old to Die Young, but they are thrillers composed with satirical brilliance and icy power. It is the streak of flabby, sentimental self-importance that makes Rambo Last Blood unwatchable. Please, Sly, more Balboa, less Rambo. Home has always been an abstract concept for John Rambo, and that's what the last scene of 2008's otherwise expendable Rambo sequel finally gave the iconic Sylvester Stallone character, a moment when this unsettled Vietnam War survivor, looking very much the worse for wear, lumbers up to a mailbox bearing the character's surname. At last, somewhere in Arizona, this duty-bound embodiment of American military might have found his way back to the family ranch. Such closure was in nearly every way antithetical to the spirit of First Blood, that is, the PTSD-fueled franchise's inaugural movie and the eponymous David Morrell novel that inspired it, both of which traded on the notion that a good man who'd gotten a taste of killing had serious difficulty turning off that deadly skill set upon his return. As a result, a sum total of 0 viewers saw that ending as a sign that Rambo would take this long overdue homecoming as a chance to park his keister and raise chickens, or whatever. The only surprise, really, is that it's taken more than a decade for Stallone to make another Rambo movie. As it happens, the actor-producer was busy rebooting a far better series via Rocky Balboa and Creed. And the only unanswered question has been, what group of unlucky so-and-sos would be the next to face his wrath? In Rambo Last Blood, another cruel and ugly showcase of xenophobic carnage squeezed into barely 80 minutes and packaged for export, the tired, now septuagenarian action figure turns his notorious sense of loathe thy neighbor vengeance toward the Mexican cartels who've kidnapped his college-bound niece Gabrielle, Yvette Monreal, and turned her into a smack-addicted sex slave. Call it Rambo Bad Hombres Edition, featuring fresh south-of-the-border mayhem from Get the Gringo director Adrian Grünberg, in which screenwriters Matthew Cyrilnik and Stallone adopt the racist view of Mexicans as murderers, drug dealers, and rapists, devoid of cultural context or exceptions, beyond the independent journalist, Paz Vega, keeping tabs on their whereabouts. Before all hell breaks loose, the movie reveals what a peaceful day on the ranch looks like, opening in the elaborate system of tunnels Rambo has constructed beneath the pasture that surrounds his country home, a sort of precautionary measure borrowed from his friends, the Viet Cong, and a perfect playground in which to booby-trap and torment his adversaries in the movie's spectacular climactic bloodbath. Amusingly enough, Last Blood lensed in Bulgaria, doubling for Mexico, whereas Rambo First Blood Part 2 used Acapulco to stand in for Vietnam. Single-handedly doing more to support the Second Amendment than Charlton Heston ever has, Rambo movies view weapons the way Quentin Tarantino does feet, turning a well-greased gun barrel into a whatever cocks your bazooka fetish object. To wit, this film's opening shot dollies past a well-stocked ammunition rack, in which we spy a pair of M16s, a shotgun or two, and several rifles, plus a machete for good measure. So much for background checks. Rambo is clearly waiting for the war to come to him, and if it doesn't, well, he can be counted on to start one. Disregarding her uncle's advice, which sounds like some kind of sociopathic fortune cookie, I know how bad a man's heart can be. Gabrielle crosses the Mexican border to meet her deadbeat dad, Marco de la O, only to be drugged, kidnapped, and sold to the Martinez brothers, Victor, Oscar Jaenada, and Hugo, Sergio Perez Mencheta. A pair of retrograde stereotypes clumsily recycled from 80s action movies, neither as scary as the Sicario drug lords, nor as memorable as Robert Davies' Bond villain. These two siblings so intimidate their captives that the young women dare not run away, even after Rambo liberates them. Early on, Victor threatens one such escapee, but stops short of punishing her in a scene that feels as if it may have been softened after test screenings, whereas no brutality has been spared against the anonymous platoon of cartel thugs Rambo later decimates. Yes, but they deserve it, one might argue. This is the reductive one-man-against-the-world reasoning by which Rambo has always operated, and I don't buy it. Rambo, who is bludgeoned till his eyes won't open and gashed on the same cheek that was scarred in First Blood Part 2, always sustains some kind of humiliating beatdown before getting his payback. That's the long-established formula for this franchise. In the past, he's used military operations to justify his rage. This time, it's personal, or so the cliché goes, although the sentiment has seldom been less convincing. Same goes for Stallone's crocodile tears. Here, it's the screenwriters, not the cartel, who should be held accountable for conjuring a virginal relative only to violate and degrade her. Suddenly, the infamous wall along the U.S.-Mexico border seems inadequate, less in containing the cartels than in protecting them from Rambo's brand of vigilante justice. After decapitating one of the Martinez brothers, Rambo returns to his ranch, where he proceeds to perform one of his signature montages, an extension of the gratuitous gun barrel worship we got before, only this time it involves setting a dozen or so grisly death traps, every one of which audiences will have the pleasure of seeing sprung upon faceless henchmen. One actually cleaves a goon's face in thirds, sparing Rambo the trouble of his usual skull-bursting finishing move. It's horrible, gut-wrenching butchery to behold, and yet it's been calibrated to elicit whoops and cheers from fans, who've faithfully followed along as Rambo evolved from long-haired drifter, scuffling with an overzealous local sheriff in the relatively realistic First Blood, to bare-chested, bandana-wearing global enforcer in a series of increasingly outrageous sequels. For many, this will be their first Rambo movie, which they can enjoy unencumbered by the psychological baggage of his past. What a frightening sight Stallone must be to neophytes, stumbling Frankenstein-like through his tunnels, bellicose veins bulging in his swollen temples. Rambo always favored brute force over the more reasonable hearts and minds approach to modern warfare, and here, as if to prove his point, he rips both of those body parts from his foes' chests. This character is a mess of contradictions, representing on one hand the permanent damage that military service can do to one's soul, while simultaneously suggesting what the ideal soldier looks like. Rambo wins the wars that America can't, and the blood isn't likely to stop here, or anytime soon. Rambo Last Blood, which means they were the people who put the movie together, after all the scenes were filmed. Editing is like assembling a big puzzle where each piece is a scene, and action, or a dialogue. Miller and Kerpenick had to decide which takes of each scene were the best, how long each scene should last, and the exact order. The story should be told so that it made sense and felt exciting. Their work is very important because even the best actors, director, and story can only shine if the scenes are put together correctly. They worked closely with the director Adrian Grünberg to make sure the final movie looked thrilling, dramatic, and easy to understand for everyone watching. One of the main things Toddy Miller and Karsten Krpanik did was make sure the action scenes were exciting and easy to follow. Rambo Last Blood has many fight scenes, chases, and dangerous moments, and the editors had to carefully choose the right shots to show the action clearly without confusing the audience. They also worked on the quieter, emotional scenes, like Rambo taking care of Gabrielle, to make sure the feelings of the characters came through. By editing both action and emotional moments well, they helped show Rambo's courage, cleverness, and love for his friends and family. Kids can learn that editing is like telling a story with pictures and sounds, making everything fit together perfectly to create the right emotions and excitement. Editing a big action movie like this was not easy, and Toddy Miller and Karsten Krpanik faced many problems. Sometimes they had too much footage to choose from, and they had to decide which parts were the most important. Other times they had to fix scenes that didn't go perfectly during filming, or make the timing of action sequences feel faster and more thrilling. They also worked with sound, music, and special effects to make sure everything matched the story and made the audience feel like they were right there with Rambo during the dangerous adventures. Despite these challenges, they carefully shaped every scene to tell a story that was exciting, easy to follow, and full of suspense. Finally, the contribution of Toddy Miller and Karsten Krpanik was huge because they turned all the film material into a complete, exciting movie that everyone could watch and enjoy. Their editing made Rambo's adventures look real, thrilling, and meaningful. Kids can learn from their work that being patient, careful, and creative is very important to finish big projects successfully. Thanks to their skillful editing, the audience could feel every dangerous moment, every clever idea, and every emotional scene. Okay, making the movie exciting and unforgettable. Miller and Krpanik helped make Rambo and Last Blood a movie that shows bravery, smart thinking, and the importance of protecting the people you love. Brian Tyler worked as the composer for Rambo Last Blood, which means he was the person who created all the music for the movie. Music in a movie is very important because it tells the audience how to feel. Brian Tyler had to make music that made the action scenes exciting, the scary moments tense, and the emotional moments touching. His work was like painting with sound, using notes, instruments, and rhythms to show bravery, danger, sadness, and hope. He worked closely with the director Adrian Grünberg and the editors to make sure the music matched every moment perfectly. Without his music, the movie would not feel as thrilling or emotional. One of the main things Brian Tyler did was create exciting themes for different parts of the movie. For Rambo's action scenes, he used fast and strong music that made the audience feel like they were running and fighting right alongside him. For the scary moments with the villains, he created tense and dramatic sounds that made people feel nervous and curious about what would happen next. And for the emotional scenes like Rambo caring for Gabrielle, he used soft, gentle music to show love, sadness, and hope. His music helped everyone understand the story better, even without words. By showing the feelings of the characters in a powerful way, kids can learn that music is a special way to tell a story and make the audience feel every emotion. Working on the music for a big action movie like this was not easy for Brian Tyler. He had to create music for many long and complicated scenes sometimes, with fights, chases, or explosions, and make sure every sound fit perfectly with what was happening on screen. He also had to match the timing of the music exactly with the movements of the actors, the camera, and the edited scenes. Sometimes he had to rewrite parts of the music to make it more exciting, more dramatic, or more emotional. Despite these challenges. Tyler used his creativity, patience, and skill to make music that brought the story to life and made every moment feel bigger and more powerful. Finally, Brian Tyler's contribution to Rambo: Last Blood was enormous because his music made the movie feel exciting, emotional, and unforgettable. The audience could feel Rambo's courage, the danger from the villains, and the hope and love he had for Gabrielle through the music. Kids can learn from his work that using creativity, paying attention to details, and practicing patience can make any project successful. Thanks to Tyler, every fight, chase, and quiet emotional moment in the movie was enhanced and more powerful. His music turned Rambo's story into a thrilling adventure that made viewers feel like they were part of every moment, showing how important music is in telling a story. The making of the movie Rambo: Last Blood took a bite. A lot of hard work and planning by many people, but the most important person was John Rambo himself, played by Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone is an actor who helped bring Rambo to life on the screen. He worked very hard to make sure that Rambo was shown as strong, brave, and caring in this movie. The production means all the work done behind the scenes like filming, acting, designing the sets, and making the story exciting. Sylvester Stallone was not just acting. He also helped write the story and make decisions about how the movie should look and feel. This means he helped make Rambo's character very real and interesting for people who watch the movie. His contribution to the production was very big because he wanted to make sure the story showed Rambo as a hero who cares deeply about family and justice. During the production of Rambo: Last Blood, many places were used to film the story, such as farms and deserts, to make the movie feel real and exciting. Okay, Sylvester Stallone and the team worked closely together to pick the right places and plan each scene carefully. They wanted everything to look just right, so when kids and adults watch the movie, they feel like they are right there with Rambo on his adventure. Stallone's contribution included helping design these scenes so that they were believable and helped tell the story clearly. He made sure the action scenes where Rambo fights bad people were exciting, but also showed Rambo's feelings and heart. This helped the movie feel more than just fighting. It showed why Rambo fights and what he cares about. Stallone's hard work behind the scenes made the movie special and full of energy. Making a movie like Rambo: Last Blood is not easy. It takes a lot of people working together: directors, actors, camera people, costume designers, and many more. But Sylvester Stallone's contribution was very important because he had been playing Rambo for many years and knew exactly how to tell Rambo's story. He helped teach the other people working on the movie how to make Rambo a true hero that kids could understand and feel connected to. Stallone's experience made the production smoother and helped everyone focus on what mattered most, showing Rambo's bravery and love for family. His leadership and ideas helped the movie come alive and made sure the story stayed strong from beginning to end. In the end, the production of Rambo: Last Blood was a big team effort, but Sylvester Stallone's contribution was one of the biggest parts of making the movie great. He helped write the story, acted as Rambo, and guided the team to make sure everything was just right. Thanks to him, the movie shows us that Rambo is not just a fighter, but a man with a big heart who wants to protect the people he loves. The production made the movie exciting, real, and full of meaning. Sylvester Stallone's hard work behind the scenes and on the screen helped bring Rambo's last big adventure to life so that kids and adults everywhere could enjoy it and learn about courage, family, and standing up for what is right, the development of Rambo. Last Blood means all the work done before the movie was made. This includes planning the story, writing the script, deciding how the movie should look, and thinking about what kind of adventure Rambo would have this time. Sylvester Stallone, who plays John Rambo, had a very big role in the development of the movie. Because he has played Rambo for many years, he understands the character very well. He helped write the story and make choices about what kind of problems Rambo would face. Stallone wanted this movie to show how Rambo is not only strong, but also caring and ready to protect his family. This part of development is very important because it shapes the whole movie before filming even starts. His contribution during development was like building the foundation of a house. Everything else depends on it. When the movie was being developed, the team wanted to tell a story that felt real and meaningful. They thought a lot about Rambo's past and how he has changed over time. Instead of just making a movie full of fighting, they wanted to show why Rambo fights and what motivates him. Sylvester Stallone helped write a story where Rambo's love for his family is the strongest reason for his actions. This made the movie more interesting and easier for kids to understand because it is about love, courage, and standing up for what is. Right. Stallone worked closely with writers and directors to make sure the story had big feelings and exciting moments. This is a very big part of development because the story needs to feel real and touch people's hearts. Another important part of the movie's development was deciding where and how to film the story. The team thought about what kind of places would look good for Rambo's last big adventure. They picked places like farms and deserts that showed the quiet and dangerous parts of Rambo's life. Stallone helped make these decisions because he wanted the movie to look real and make the audience feel like they are right there with Rambo. He also worked on how Rambo should act and move in the movie, showing both his strength and his kindness. This makes the movie special because it's not just about fighting. It is about a man who cares deeply and will do anything to protect the people he loves. His contribution during development helped shape the look, feel, and heart of the movie in the end. The development of Rambo Last Blood was a long and careful process where many ideas came together to create a great movie. Sylvester Stallone's contribution was huge because he helped write the story, decide on important parts of the movie, and make sure Rambo was shown as a true hero with a big heart. Thanks to the development work, the movie tells a story about bravery, family, and never giving up. Kids can learn from Rambo's courage and love that being strong means standing up for those we care about. The development helped make sure the movie was not just exciting, but also full of meaning and feeling, all because of Stallone's hard bed, work, and care for the character he has played for so many years. The writing of Rambo Last Blood means the creation of the story, the words the characters say, and all the plans for what happens in the movie. Writing is very important because it helps everyone know what to do and say when they make the movie. Sylvester Stallone, the actor who plays John Rambo, helped a lot with the writing. He didn't just act in the movie, he helped decide what the story would be about and how the characters should talk and act. Stallone has played Rambo for many years and knows the character very well. This helped him write a story that shows Rambo as strong, brave, and loving. His contribution to the writing made sure the story was exciting and also easy to understand for kids because it talks about love, courage, and protecting family. When writing the movie, Stallone worked with other writers to create a story that was clear and meaningful. They thought hard about how Rambo would feel and what would make him do everything to save someone he loves. The writing needed to show Rambo's heart as well as his strength. So the story talks about how much Rambo cares about Gabriella like a daughter to him and how far he will go to keep her safe. Stallone helped write many parts where Rambo's feelings are shown, not just his fighting skills. This made the story very special because it is not just about action, but about family and doing the right thing. Stallone's work on the writing helped make the movie story strong and touching so everyone can understand why Rambo fights. Another important part of Stallone's writing contribution was making sure the Words and scenes matched the kind of movie Rambo Last Blood needed to be. He helped write action scenes that were exciting and fast, but also added quiet moments where Rambo thinks and cares about others. Writing these parts well was very important because it helps kids learn that even heroes have feelings and can be gentle too. Stallone made sure the story had both exciting adventure and important lessons about love and bravery. His writing helped the movie feel real and showed Rambo as a true hero who was strong on the outside but kind and brave on the inside. This made the movie more fun to watch and easier to understand. Finally, Sylvester Stallone's contribution to the writing helped the movie come alive in a way that kept Rambo's character true to who he has always been, but also showed him growing and changing. Stallone helped write the story so it had a clear beginning, middle, and end with good surprises and moments that made people think. His hard work on the writing made sure the movie was not just a story about fighting, but a story about hope, family, and courage. Kids watching the movie can learn from Rambo's example that being brave means standing up for those you love and never giving up, even when things are hard. Thanks to Stallone's writing, Rambo Last Blood tells a powerful story that is exciting to understand and full of heart. Pre-production is the very first step in making a movie. It is when people plan everything before the cameras start rolling and the actors begin acting for Rambo Last Blood. Pre-production was a very important time because it helped everyone get ready to make the story come alive. Sylvester Stallone, who plays John Rambo, had a very big role in this stage. He helped make many important decisions, like where the movie would be filmed, what the characters would wear, and how the story should be told. Since Stallone has been playing Rambo for many years, he knew exactly how to prepare for this new adventure. His contribution during pre-production helped the whole team understand the kind of movie they wanted to make. A movie about a brave man who loves his family and fights to protect them. During pre-production, Stallone worked closely with the guys, director, producers, and writers to plan each part of the movie carefully. They talked about how the story should start, what problems Rambo would face, and how the movie would end. Stallone's ideas helped make the story strong and easy to follow. He also helped decide on the costumes, making sure Rambo looked like the strong, experienced hero everyone expects. Pre-production also involved picking the right places to film, like farms and deserts that matched the story's mood. Stallone helped pick these places so the movie would feel real and exciting. His careful planning made sure everything was ready so filming could go smoothly and the story could be told in the best way possible. Another important part of pre-production was casting, which means choosing the actors who would play the other characters in the movie. Stallone helped make sure the actors chosen fit well with the story and the world of Rambo. He wanted the other characters to feel real and believable, so kids and adults watching the movie could connect with them. Stallone also practiced his lines and prepared physically to make sure he could perform all the action scenes safely and well. This helped make the movie more exciting and fun to watch. His hard work during pre-production showed how serious he was about making the best movie possible and giving Rambo a powerful and true story to tell. In the end, Sylvester Stallone's contribution to the pre-production of Rambo Last Blood was huge. He helped plan the story, choose the right places and people, and get everything ready, so the movie could be made just right. Thanks to his efforts, the movie feels real, exciting, and full of heart. Pre-production is like building the blueprint for a house. Without it, the movie would not be strong or clear. Stallone's careful work during this early stage made sure Rambo Last Blood could become a great movie that teaches kids about courage, love, and never giving up. His contribution during pre-production shows how much thought and care go into making a movie before the fun part of filming even begins. Filming is the part of making a movie when all the actors, cameras, and crew come together to actually record the story. For Rambo: Last Blood, filming was a very important and busy time. Sylvester Stallone, who plays John and Rambo, had a very big job during filming. He had to act in many scenes, especially the ones where Rambo shows how strong and brave he is. Filming these scenes was not easy because there were many action parts like running, jumping, and fighting. Stallone worked very hard to make sure his acting looked real and exciting. His contribution during filming was huge because he brought the character of Rambo to life in a way that kids and adults could understand and enjoy. He used his experience and skills to show both Rambo's strength and his kindness. During filming, Stallone spent a lot of time practicing and getting ready to perform his scenes perfectly. Some scenes were filmed outside in hot deserts or on farms where it was sometimes hard to work because of the
weather or the rough land. But Stallone stayed focused and strong,
just like Rambo would. He also worked closely with the director and other actors to make sure every scene told the story well. Stallone's contribution was important because he helped make the story clear by showing Rambo's feelings and actions clearly on camera. This made the movie easy to follow and very exciting to watch. His work during filming helped the movie become a powerful story about bravery and love. Another important part of Stallone's contribution during filming was that he helped with the action scenes. These scenes are some of the most exciting parts of the movie where Rambo fights bad people to save his family. Stallone did many of his own stunts, which means he performed some of the dangerous moves himself. This made the action look very real and thrilling for the audience. Stallone's bravery and skill during filming helped make the movie feel like a real adventure. He showed that Rambo is not only strong, but also smart and careful. His work in these scenes was a big part of why the movie is so exciting and fun to watch for kids who love stories about heroes. In the end, Stallone's contribution during filming was one of the most important parts of making Rambo: Last Blood. Without his hard work, acting, and bravery, the movie would not have been as exciting or as special. He helped bring Rambo to life in a way that shows both strength and kindness, teaching kids that being a hero means caring for others and standing up to protect them. The long hours and tough work during filming made sure that the story was told well and that every scene looked amazing. Stallone's dedication and talent during filming helped make Rambo: Last Blood a great movie full of action, heart, and important lessons about courage and family. Music is a very important part of making a movie because it helps tell the story without using words. In Rambo: Last Blood, the music plays a big role in showing how Rambo feels and making the scenes more exciting or emotional. Even though Sylvester Stallone, who plays John Rambo, didn't write or play the music himself, his contribution to the music was very important. Stallone worked closely with the music team to decide what kind of music should be used. He helped choose music that matches Rambo's character, strong, brave, and sometimes sad. This helped make sure the music fits perfectly with the story and helps kids understand how Rambo feels in different parts of the movie. When the music was being created, Stallone shared his ideas about what kind of sounds would help the story the best. He wanted the music to feel like a part of Rambo's world, sometimes calm and peaceful when Rambo is at his farm, and sometimes loud and exciting during the action scenes. The music helps people feel the tension when Rambo is in danger and feel happy or hopeful during the quiet moments. Stallone's contribution was like being a guide for the music team, helping them know when to make the music soft and gentle or when to make it powerful and loud. This way, the music tells the story just as well as the pictures on the screen. Music also helps connect the audience to Rambo's feelings without using words. When Rambo is sad because someone he cares about is in trouble, the music sounds slow and gentle to show his sadness. When Rambo is getting ready to fight to protect his family, the music becomes strong and fast to show his courage and power. Stallone's contribution to the music helped make these feelings come alive for kids and grown-ups watching the movie. The music guides people through Rambo's adventure and makes the whole experience more exciting and meaningful. Without the pro-right music, the movie wouldn't feel as real or as powerful. In the end, Sylvester Stallone's contribution to the music in Rambo Last Blood was about helping choose the right sounds to tell Rambo's story. Even though he didn't play the instruments or write the songs, his ideas helped make the music perfect for the movie. The music helps everyone watching understand Rambo's bravery, love, and struggles. It makes the story bigger and more emotional, so kids can feel what Rambo feels. Stallone's role in choosing and guiding the music shows that making a movie is a team effort where every detail, even the sounds, it's important to create an amazing story about courage and family. The release of a movie is the exciting time when the movie is finally ready to be shown to people all around the world. For Rambo Last Blood, the release was a very special moment because it marked the last big adventure of John Rambo, the brave hero who has been loved by many for many years. Sylvester Stallone, the actor who plays Rambo, had a big role in making the release successful. His hard work acting, helping write the mock story, and guiding the movie from the beginning all led to this moment. When the movie was released, Stallone helped by talking to fans, doing interviews, and sharing how important the story was to him. His contribution during the release helped make sure lots of people were excited to see the movie and learn about Rambo's last big mission. When the movie was released, Stallone went to many special events called premieres. These are like big parties where the cast, crew, and fans get to watch the movie for the first time. Stallone's presence at these events helped the movie get more attention from people all over the world. He talked about how he wanted this movie to show Ramos' bravery and his love for family. Stallone also helped share messages about courage and never giving up, which made kids and adults interested in the movie. Because Stallone had been with Rambo for so many years, people trusted him and wanted to see how his story would end. His work during the release made the movie feel even more special and important. Another important part of Stallone's contribution during the release was how he connected with fans. He used social media interviews and public appearances to share his excitement about the movie. Stallone told stories about filming and what Rambo means to him. This helped fans understand that Rambo Last Blood was not just an action movie, but a story about family, courage, and standing up for what is right. Stallone's connection with the fans made many people want to watch the movie and learn about Rambo's last adventure. His love for the character and the story made the release more successful and meaningful for everyone. In the end, Sylvester Stallone's contribution during the release of Rambo Last Blood was very important because it helped bring the movie to life for people everywhere. He shared his passion for the story and made sure fans knew how much heart and hard work went into the movie. The release is the moment when all the planning, writing, filming, and music come together for the world to see. Thanks to Stallone's efforts, Rambo Last Blood reached many people and showed them a powerful story about bravery, family, and never giving up. His role during the release made sure the movie became a memorable and exciting experience for kids and adults alike. Marketing is all the work done to tell people about a movie before it comes out, so they get excited and want to watch it. For Rambo Last Blood, marketing was very important because it helped fans and new viewers know about Rambo's last big adventure. Sylvester Stallone, who plays John Wayne Rambo, played a big role in marketing the movie. He helped by talking to reporters, going to special events, and sharing stories about the movie and the character he loves. Stallone's contribution was important because he is the face of Rambo. When people see him, they remember all the adventures and want to see this new one. By sharing his excitement and love for Rambo, Stallone helped make many people curious and eager to watch the movie. During the marketing time, Stallone appeared in many interviews on TV, radio, and on the internet. He talked about what makes Rambo Last Blood special and why kids and adults should watch it. He explained that this movie is not just about action, but about family and courage. Stallone also shared behind-the-scenes stories and pictures too, make fans feel closer to the movie and its making. This helped the marketing team because fans felt connected to the story before the movie even started. Sylvester Stallone's friendly and passionate way of talking made people trust the movie and want to see it with their families. Another important part of Stallone's contribution was attending special parties and movie premieres. These events are where the movie is shown before it opens in theaters for everyone. At these events, Stallone met fans and answered their questions about Rambo and the movie. These moments helped spread the word about the movie through news, social media, and excited fans talking to friends. Stallone's presence made the marketing more powerful because people felt excited and wanted to be part of the adventure. His smile, stories, and kindness helped the movie feel like a fun and important event for all ages. In the end, Sylvester Stallone's contribution to marketing Rambo Last Blood was huge because he helped share the story and the excitement with the whole world. Without marketing, many people would not know about the movie or why it is special. Stallone's hard work and love for the character helped the movie reach many families, teaching kids about bravery, family, and standing up for what is right. Marketing brought everyone together to celebrate Rambo's last adventure, and Stallone's role was a big reason why the movie became a success that kids and adults could enjoy. His efforts made sure the story of Rambo's courage and heart was told to as many people as possible. The theatrical release of a movie means the time when the movie is shown in movie theaters for everyone to watch on big screens. For sitting for Rambo Last Blood, this was a very exciting moment because it was when people all over the world could finally see John Rambo's last big adventure. Sylvester Stallone, who plays Rambo, had a very important role in making the theatrical release special. His contribution was more than just acting in the movie. He helped make sure the movie was ready for theaters and helped invite people to come watch it. Stallone wanted kids and adults to enjoy the movie together in theaters where the story feels bigger and more exciting because of the huge screen and loud sounds. His efforts helped the movie reach many fans and new viewers in theaters everywhere. Before the movie came to theaters, Stallone worked with the movie team to plan special events like premieres and fan meetups. These events happen in theaters and are the first time the movie is shown to the public. Stallone's presence at these events was very important because he is the face of Rambo and many people look up to him. At these premieres, he talked about the story, answered questions, and shared what Rambo means to him. This made the theatrical release feel like a big celebration where fans could be excited and happy to watch Rambo's last adventure on the big screen. His contribution helped the movie feel important and made sure lots of people came to see it in theaters. During the theatrical release, Stallone also helped by encouraging fans to watch the movie in cinemas. He used social media and interviews to remind people that watching movies in theaters is a fun way to enjoy stories with family and friends. He talked about how the big screen and powerful sound make the action and emotions feel stronger. His words made many kids and adults want to experience the movie this way. Stallone's love for Rambo and his story helped spread the message that Rambo Last Blood is best enjoyed in theaters. Okay, this contribution was important because it helped the movie become popular and successful during its theatrical run. In the end, Sylvester Stallone's contribution to the theatrical release of Rambo Last Blood was huge because he helped make the movie an exciting event for everyone to enjoy. His hard work in acting, promoting Tay, and sharing the story made people want to watch Rambo's final adventure on the big screen. The theatrical release brought together families and fans to experience a story about courage, love, and bravery in the most powerful way. Thanks to Stallone's efforts, Rambo Last Blood became a memorable movie that kids and adults could enjoy together in theaters, making the story of Rambo's bravery even bigger and stronger. When Rambo Last Blood was shown in different countries, there were actually 2 different versions of the movie. This means that some countries saw a shorter version, and other countries saw a longer one with extra scenes. In the United States, United Kingdom, and Canada, the movie runs about 89 minutes, which is just under 1.5 hours. But in places like Australia, Mexico, Sweden, Brazil, Finland, Germany, and Japan, the movie runs about 101 minutes, which is about 12 minutes longer. The longer version has some extra parts that were taken out in the shorter version. These extra scenes help explain more about Rambo's life and feelings before the main story begins. This is called an alternate opening, and it helps people understand why Rambo is the way he is and what he has been through before the adventure starts. The longer version begins with a rainy and stormy scene in the forest where 3 hikers are lost and in danger of getting caught by a flood. The police are worried because the water is rising, and they say they have to stop searching for the hikers because it is too dangerous. They ask if the volunteer riding a horse is coming too. Help! And then we meet Rambo in the woods. Rambo is tracking the hikers, trying to find them before the flood gets worse. He finds a girl who has sadly died, and then farther down, he finds the other 2 hikers still alive, but scared. Rambo tries to get them to safety, but one man won't leave without his wife. Even though Rambo tells him she didn't make it, the man runs off, not listening, and the floodwater rushes down the mountain. Rambo ties himself and the girl to a big rock to stay safe from the water. After the flood, Rambo returns to the base with the girl's body and sees the man who ran off being carried away in a body bag. This makes Rambo very upset and brings back memories of his past, which is called PTSD, a kind of emotional pain from bad experiences. After this sad rescue, Rambo goes back home to his ranch, which is a big farm where he lives quietly. He talks with an old lady who lives in the house with him. They remember when Rambo first came back and how his father used to sit outside in a rocking chair. These memories help show that Rambo misses his family and wishes for peace. Later, Rambo goes into underground tunnels on his land where he feels upset about the rescue and the memories that come back. While he is in the tunnels, he plays music from AC/DC songs by The Doors, a famous band. This music helps him think and calm down. While he is in the tunnels, the movie shows flashbacks, which are scenes from Rambo's past that come into his mind. These flashbacks show Rambo's feelings and remind us that he is a hero who has been through many hard things, and sometimes those memories still hurt. Then the movie continues with Rambo on his ranch, just like the shorter version that starts right away with his quiet life. The longer version helps people understand more about Rambo's story and why he is the brave man we see in the movie. It shows how strong and caring he is, even though he has been hurt before. This extra part is only in some countries because the movie makers thought some places would want to see more of Rambo's background. Both versions tell the same main story, but the longer version gives more heart and meaning to the adventure. Kids watching this can understand that heroes like Rambo have feelings too, and sometimes they need time to heal before they can help others. After a movie like Rambo, Last Blood is shown in theaters. It becomes available for people to watch at home. This is called the home media release, which means the movie can be watched on DVDs, Blu-rays, or through digital streaming on TVs, computers, and tablets. Sylvester, Stallone, who plays the hero John Rambo, played an important role in making sure the home media release was exciting and special for fans. He helped by sharing the movie with people who couldn't go to theaters or wanted to watch it again with their families at home. Stallone's contribution during the home media release helped make sure kids and adults everywhere could enjoy Rambo's Last Adventure whenever they wanted. Am I not? Just during the theater run when Rambo Last Blood came out on DVD and Blu-ray? Stallone's work was important because these versions sometimes included special bonus features. These extras might show how the movie was made, interviews with Stallone and other actors, and behind-the-scenes videos. Stallone helped by talking about the story, the challenges of playing Rambo, again, and what it meant to him to finish Rambo's story. These special parts helped fans understand the movie better and feel closer to the actors and the making of the film. His contribution made the home media release not just a chance to watch the movie again, but also a fun and interesting experience for kids who like to learn how movies are created. Another important part of Stallone's role was encouraging people to share Rambo Last Blood with their friends and family at home. He talked about how watching movies together is a great way to spend time and enjoy stories about heroes and adventure. Stallone's kindness and love for Rambo helped many families decide to get the movie on DVD or stream it online. Because of his effort, the movie reached even more people who might have missed it in theaters or wanted to see it again. This way, kids could watch and learn about courage, kindness, and bravery anytime they wanted in the comfort of their own homes. Stallone's work made sure Rambo's story stayed alive beyond the theaters. In the end, Sylvester Stallone's contribution to the home media release of Rambo Last Blood was very big and very important. He helped bring the movie into homes around the world so many people could watch and enjoy it again and again. His work in sharing stories about making the movie, answering questions, and talking to fans made the home media experience more special. Stallone's love for Rambo and his story helped teach kids and families about standing up for what is right and protecting those you love. Thanks to Stallone's hard work, Rambo Last Blood continues to be an exciting and meaningful movie that people can watch anytime they want, reminding everyone of bravery and heart. The reception of a movie means how people feel and talk about it after watching it. When Rambo Last Blood came out, many people watched it and shared what they thought. Some people loved the movie because they enjoyed seeing John Rambo, the brave hero, go on one last big adventure. Sylvester Stallone, who plays Rambo, played a very important role in how people received the movie. His acting helped bring the character to life and made people feel the courage and heart Rambo has. Stallone worked hard to show that Rambo is not just strong, but also cares deeply about family and friends. His work made the movie more real and exciting, and this helped many fans feel connected to the story and cheer for Rambo. After the movie was released, Stallone also helped by listening to what fans and critics said about the movie. He answered questions in interviews and shared his thoughts about the story and the character. Sometimes people said the movie was very intense or sad, and Stallone explained that this was because Rambo's story is about real feelings like love, loss, and bravery. He wanted everyone to understand that heroes sometimes have hard times too. Stallone's way of talking about the movie helped people see it in a new light and appreciate the deeper parts of the story. This helped the reception because it showed that the movie is not just about fighting, but about being strong inside. Many fans who watched Rambo Last Blood said they felt inspired by Stallone's performance. They saw how Rambo's courage and loyalty to his family were very important parts of the story. Stallone's contribution was not just acting, but also sharing why Rambo's story matters today. He reminded everyone that being brave doesn't always mean fighting. It also means protecting and loving the people you care about. His strong and caring portrayal helped the movie have a big impact on kids and grown-ups alike. Thanks to Stallone, people talked about the movie long after they saw it, and this is part of what makes a good reception for any film. In the end, Sylvester Stallone's contribution to the reception of Rambo: Last Blood was very big because he helped people understand the story and connect with Rambo. His hard work as an actor and his kindness in sharing the meaning behind the movie made many people enjoy and respect the film. The reception shows how much people cared about Rambo's last adventure, and Stallone's role was important in making sure that the movie touched hearts and taught lessons about bravery, family, and never giving up. Because of Stallone, Rambo: Last Blood became more than just an action movie. It became a story that inspires and stays with people for a long time. The box office is the place where people buy tickets to watch a movie in theaters, and it also means the total amount of money a movie makes when people go to see it. For Rambo: Last Blood, the box office was very important because it showed how many people wanted to watch Rambo's last big adventure. Sylvester Stallone, who plays John Rambo, helped a lot in making sure the movie did well at the box office. He is the star everyone knows and loves. So when people heard he was back as Rambo, they got excited and wanted to buy tickets to see the movie. Stallone's name and his role in the film helped attract fans from all over the world, making the movie popular and successful in theaters. Stallone's hard work acting as Rambo and his efforts in promoting the movie helped many families and fans decide to watch it on the big screen. He talked about the story in interviews, shared behind-the-scenes stories, and explained why this movie is special to. These things made people curious and excited to see the movie in theaters. A cause. Stallone has been with the character of Rambo for so many years. His connection with fans made the box office numbers grow higher. More people went to watch Rambo: Last Blood because Stallone helped remind them how strong and brave Rambo is and how this movie shows his final and biggest fight. Another reason Stallone's contribution was important for the box office is that he helped bring new viewers who maybe hadn't seen the other Rambo movies before. Stallone explained the story in a way that even kids or people who didn't know Rambo could understand and enjoy the movie. He made sure the message of courage, family, and never giving up was clear to everyone. This helped the movie reach a bigger audience, which means more tickets sold at the box office. Stallone's dedication to telling a meaningful story helped the movie do well in theaters around the world, and this made the box office numbers impressive. In the end, Sylvester Stallone's contribution to the box office success of Rambo: Last Blood was huge. His famous role as Rambo, combined with his efforts to share the story and connect with fans, helped the movie reach many people. Because of Stallone, the movie was seen by millions of fans who cheered for Rambo's bravery and heart. The box office shows how much people loved and supported Rambo's last adventure, and Stallone's hard work was a big reason why the movie did so well. Thanks to him, Rambo: Last Blood became a popular and exciting film that kids and adults enjoyed watching in theaters everywhere. When Rambo: Last Blood came out, many movie critics, these are people who watch movies and write what they think about them, shared their opinions on a website called Rotten Tomatoes, which collects reviews from many critics. The movie got a low score. Only about 26% of the critics liked the movie, which means most of them thought it wasn't very good. The average rating they gave was 4 out of 10, which is below average. Rotten Tomatoes said the movie had a lot of violence, but didn't focus enough on Rambo's important and emotional story, like the first movie did. Another website, Metacritic, also gave the movie a low score of 26 out of 100, meaning most critics didn't like it much. However, people who watched the movie and shared their thoughts gave it a better grade. On CinemaScore, audiences gave it a B, which is pretty good. And on post-track, many people said they would definitely recommend watching it. One big topic that critics talked about was how the character of Rambo was shown in this movie. Some critics liked how the movie showed Rambo's feelings and struggles. For example, a writer for the Los Angeles Times said the movie did a good job showing that Rambo is strong, but also fragile, and that made people care about him more. But other critics didn't think the character was handled well. One critic from Variety said that Rambo felt confusing because he seemed both hurt from war and also like the perfect soldier at the same time. Another reviewer from IGN said that Rambo used to be a symbol showing how war can hurt a person, but now he looks more like a tough machine who can't be stopped. Even though this reviewer didn't like the movie much, he still praised Sylvester Stallone, who plays Rambo, for doing his best to act with heart. Critics also talked about the movie's script, which means the story and the words, the characters. Say, Sylvester Stallone helped write the script with another writer named Matthew
Cernick. Many critics didn't like the script and said it felt rushed and simple, like a
TV show pilot episode instead of a full movie. One critic from The Hollywood Reporter said the script wasn't very good, but gave Stallone credit for keeping the Rambo story going. A critic from the Chicago Tribune said the script was lazy because it didn't create deep characters and just used scary and exciting images instead of real feelings. Another reviewer said the story was very simple and felt like it was made quickly without much care, which was disappointing for a movie about such an important hero. Many critics also said that the plot of Rambo Last Blood felt very similar to other movies like Taken, where a person tries to save a family member from bad people. Some said it was like a death wish movie, which is about someone taking revenge. A web critic called James Bardinelli even said it reminded him of the first Rambo movie because of the traps. Rambo builds to fight the bad guys. Even though many reviews were not happy with the story or script, some people still enjoyed the movie because of Stallone's acting and the action scenes. Overall, the critical response was mixed, but mostly not positive, showing that while some loved the movie, many thought it could have been better. Many critics who watched Rambo Last Blood were shocked by how violent and bloody the action scenes were. They said the movie had a lot of fighting and very scary moments where many people got hurt or died in graphic ways. Some compared the amount of blood and scary deaths to movies called slasher films, which are known for being very gory and frightening. One critic said that the number of people who died in the movie was extremely high, and the ways they died were like those in scary Halloween movies, where the bad guys get hurt in very creative but shocking ways. Another critic said watching the violence was so intense and hard to see that it felt horrible and made viewers feel uncomfortable. But fans who love Rambo still cheered because they enjoy the tough and wild nature of his adventures. People even said the violent scenes were more shocking than real videos about crime and punishment. But they still thought the movie was worth watching because it shows the fierce side of Rambo. At the same time, some critics and viewers thought the most violent parts of the movie were actually really exciting. One reviewer said that Rambo Last Blood had the most violent scene in movies that year and called it awesome because it was so intense and full of action. But that same person wished that some parts of the story, like the talking and the background, had been shorter or removed to keep the movie faster and more fun. Others said, if you really like seeing Rambo prepare for battle, use his bow and arrows, and set traps for the bad guys, then this movie is perfect for you. But if you don't do, like a lot of fighting and blood, then maybe this movie isn't for you. Many people noticed that the final big fight in the movie was very similar to the kind of fun but safe traps kids see in movies like Home Alone. But Rambo Last Blood was much more serious and had more violence, while Home Alone is a much gentler movie for kids. A big part of the criticism was about how the movie showed Mexico and the people who live there. Many critics said the movie made Mexico look like a place full of bad criminals, and most of the Mexican and Latino characters were shown as villains. Some people felt this was unfair and called it stereotyping, which means showing a group of people in a way that isn't true for everyone. They said the movie might make some people feel bad about Mexicans and Latinos by making them seem scary or dangerous, and some even thought the movie was trying to please people who support strict border rules between the United States and Mexico. A critic from The Guardian called the movie very bad and said it was full of scary and unfair ideas about Mexicans. Others said that the way the movie showed criminals and victims was not respectful and felt old-fashioned and
careless. A Mexican movie critic even said it was funny but strange that Spanish actors pretended to be Mexican and that the movie wasn't very smart or
careful about these things. Finally, the original creator of Rambo, a writer named David Morrell, said he didn't like Rambo Last Blood at all. Kay said the movie was a mess and felt embarrassed that his name was connected to it. Morrell said that after watching the movie, he felt sad and that the movie didn't have the deep feelings and meaning that the first story about Rambo had. He thought the movie looked cheap and the way it was made was awkward. He said that if the movie didn't have the name Rambo, it wouldn't be very different or interesting. He also mentioned that the movie seemed to expect people to already know a lot about Rambo's past, which might be confusing for younger viewers who never saw the earlier movies. Overall, while some people enjoyed the movie for its action, many critics and even the creator of Rambo thought it was too violent. It's unfair in its portrayal of people and didn't do justice to the character's story. Rambo Last Blood is a movie that tells the story of an old hero named John Rambo who has been through many battles and tough times. In this movie, people look closely at what Rambo's actions mean and what lessons we can learn from his story. One important part of the movie is how it shows that even someone very strong and brave can feel pain, sadness, and anger inside. Rambo is not just a fighter. He is also a person who cares deeply about his family and wants to protect the people he loves. This movie teaches us about courage, that sometimes being brave means standing up for what is right, even when it's hard or dangerous. Rambo's fight is not just about winning a battle, but also about making sure justice is served and that bad people do not hurt innocent people. Another big part of the analysis is about the movie's message about violence and revenge. The movie shows many scenes where Rambo fights the bad guys and uses traps and weapons to stop them. Some people think the movie shows that violence is sometimes necessary to protect yourself or others, especially when the police or other helpers cannot do their job. But others believe that the movie also reminds us that violence can be scary and sad, and it can hurt a lot of people. Rambo himself carries the pain of his past battles. And this movie shows how fighting is not always easy or fun. It comes with consequences. So the movie helps viewers think about how far someone should go to defend themselves and what it means to be a hero who fights not just with strength but also with heart. The movie also makes people think about family and healing. Rambo lives on a ranch with people he cares about, and he tries to find peace in a quiet life after all the trouble he has been through. But when someone he loves is hurt, he has to go back to fighting again. This part of the movie shows how important family is and how far someone might go to protect the people they care about. It also shows that even when people try to heal and live peacefully, the past can sometimes come back and cause problems. Rambo's journey teaches us that healing takes time and effort, and sometimes it means facing old fears and challenges with courage. The movie reminds kids that family is special and that standing up for those you love is a powerful thing. Lastly, the movie's analysis includes thinking about how Rambo is a symbol for many things: strength, bravery, pain, and hope. Character represents a person who has faced many hard times but keeps going, never giving up. He shows that even when life is tough, you can still fight to do what is right and protect others. The movie helps viewers understand that heroes are not just about fighting, they are also about love, loyalty, and sometimes sadness. This makes Rambo a complicated but interesting character. Kids can learn from Rambo that being strong means more than just being tough on the outside. It means caring deeply, being brave in the face of problems, and never losing hope. Rambo. Last Blood is a movie that many people talked about when it came out, and it got a mix of different reactions. When we talk about accolades, we mean the awards, praise, or special recognition the movie received from different groups or organizations. Even though Rambo Last Blood did not win many big or famous awards like some other movies, it still caught the attention of many fans and some groups who liked certain parts of it. Sometimes movies get recognition not only for winning awards, but also because they become popular or important in different ways. For example, fans of action movies enjoyed watching Rambo's adventures and praised the exciting fight scenes and the way the story showed his courage and determination. One important part of the accolades for Rambo Last Blood is how it was recognized by fans of the series and action movie lovers. Many people said that Sylvester Stallone, the actor who plays Rambo, did a great job showing his character one last time in this movie. They liked how Stallone made Rambo look strong and brave, even though he was older than in the first movies. The film's action scenes, especially the ones where Rambo uses clever traps and fights bad guys, were also talked about positively. These parts of the movie helped it earn respect and appreciation from viewers who love thrilling stories about heroes who never give up. So while the movie didn't collect many big trophies, it earned a place in the hearts of action fans around the world. In some cases, movies like Rambo Last Blood get nominated or receive smaller awards from groups that appreciate specific things such as special effects, music, or even the way the actors perform. These kinds of accolades celebrate the hard work that goes into making a movie exciting and enjoyable. For Rambo Last Blood, people noticed the music that helped create a tense and emotional mood, the camera work that made the fights look real, and the sets that made the story feel believable. All these little parts add up to make a movie special. Even if the film didn't win the biggest awards, the team behind it worked very hard, and that effort was noticed by some movie lovers and critics. Finally, it's important to remember that sometimes movies become important or acclaimed over time, even if they don't win a lot of awards right away. Rambo Last Blood is part of a long series of movies that many people grew up watching, and that gives it a special place in movie history. The character of Rambo has inspired many stories and heroes in other films, books, and games. Because of this, the movie's accolades can also be seen in how it connects to fans, how it keeps the story alive, and how it shows a famous hero's last big adventure, and some information about it. How do you like our today's video? Please let us know by commenting, and if you like this video, please like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.